Hello artists, I'm going to show you how to cover your metal frame sheet with withies. So this is part of a public art project that's been going a few years now, and you'll have seen the sheep all around the place and the little lambs, but they're looking a bit tired. They've been out all winter and it's time they had some new wool. We're going to construct the wool using Spanish willow withies, and first of all you need to have your willows soaked, because if your willows aren't soaked, then they will be very brittle and they will break rather than bend. You need them to bend so that they're sculptural, so that you'll be able to create nice shapes. When you first start working with withies, just pick them up and run your thumbs along and give them a little bend. This breaks down the fibre and encourages them to take on a nice bendy shape, which will make it easier for you to create the nice curved shapes. If you don't, then they're more liable to snap, which is not what you want. Okay, so here is the metal sheet, and we've taken off all of the broken wood that was on there before, because it had gone really brittle. The thinner bits I'm going to use for the more detailed bits, and the fatter bits I'm going to use for her body, I should say. So we're going to, well, here's for her, who knows, but we do have a ram, don't we, somewhere. So in, out, so that you've always got something that it's pushing against, because that will keep it in place. Okay, but you don't want to leave any big sharp ends, so they could be tucked in behind, particularly some of these bigger things. But you'll see that each of the withies I'm adding, particularly on this bit, is giving me more of a framework, just like the metal framework. So build up your big gaps first. So you fill in all these big gaps to give it more of a framework using the withies, and then we can try, and then we can just fill it all in, a bit like colouring really, but colouring with sticks, or even drawing with sticks. But the important things to remember are to get your ends tucked in and to make sure that it's pushing up against something, so that it creates a tension, and that the tension is what keeps it all together. So it goes in one, out the other, and then pokes in the end. The smaller ones, with the thinner ends, best to use for the finer detail. So, for instance, where I want to do this head, I'm going to put it in, bend it back over, and it's always got to tuck in somewhere, because that, or twist round, because that is how it's going to stay. And use that one to change the head and tuck in behind there. So you'll see it's following the frame. So here she is with all 4 little bundles of withies put on, and you can see that towards the outer layer I started trying to do some nice bendy shapes in the withies. I'll just do a little close up on that. So trying to get some some nice curves, thinking about those woolly sheep shapes. But of course that only works if you bend your withies first. So you do that bendy thing at the beginning, and if your withies are very nicely well soaked. Now the face, it's better to use the thinner withies for. And once again, make sure they're nicely soaked, and let you try bending them first. Right, cable ties, okay? If there's big bits of your sheep that have really come away from the frame and are kind of sticking out, and you think, I'm not so happy with this, I would like to pull that into the frame, tighten it up, get that shape back, then you can use cable ties, okay? And if you've used cable ties before, but they've got a flat back and a bit on the front, put them in, they go into the back, and you can start to hear a ratchet as it goes down on these, so you can start to hear that noise, and that's how you know they've worked. If they don't make that noise, they haven't worked, you've got them the wrong way around. But do use them sparingly, because we don't want to put too much plastic out there into the environment, do we? So the odd one is okay, but you really need to pull them in.